Hey, welcome everybody to Same Team, Different Jerseys. I'm Damien.
I'm Sonia.
We didn't listen here, lady. We had an order. And you
My bad.
You fucked it all up.
I
Hey,
did.
everybody, welcome back again. I am Hannah.
I'm Damien.
And I'm Sonia. There we go.
Okay, there we go. That still sucked. That's supposed to be faster. Anyways, I had a great idea to have a great show to talk about some social weird things in the world and how people interact and the whole 9 yards. And this week fucking blew up with news. And the biggest one was the freaking Epstein files. So they got released today at 1500. I don't know how much was released. I've seen like one or two of them, but is everybody excited about it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, yes. Like originally I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be great, right? Like everybody's been asking for the files to be released. So everybody's going to get what they want. Bruh. Okay, so after we put in our little group chat, right, that DOJ.gov had released it. Okay, I went on there and I started scrolling. Okay, and the first data set that they have on there, right, it has like 110 pages of PDFs, and you have to click one by one by one by one, right, which is super annoying. So after like looking at the first 5 pages and clicking one for one for one for one, okay, I was like, you know what, we're gonna go all the way to the end and we're gonna see what's in here. We'll click like the first one, and then we'll go down like 5 or 6. We'll click it, right? It was all pictures of like, I'm assuming it's his island, right? So it's
His
like
mansion.
pictures of the house and like rooms and stuff. And there was nothing where I was like, oh my God. Okay. So then I go to the next data set and you start seeing pictures of, you know, Jeffrey Epstein and Giselle and stuff, right? And it's just like random everyday photos, like photos that couples would take like when they're out and about, right? You know, like they're on the plane, they're in a helicopter, they're having dinner, they're drinking, whatever. Well, then I went a couple pages more. Now, mind you, there's like another 100 fucking pages of that shit. So I skipped like 50 pages and I clicked a random one. And who did I start seeing? Bill Clinton.
So I'll be honest, when we got that link sent, I clicked through the first like, I don't know, probably the first 10. And I was like, oh, these are all photos. Like, this is boring. So I went to like the next page, scrolled down to the bottom. Pictures. Now, the only thing that like for me was like, this is bizarre, were the photos that he had in his, I think it was his bathroom, of the guy like bent over the bed or whatever. And he's like, but his face is blurred out for, I don't know, obvious reasons, I guess. But he's like in a t-shirt, right? And he's bent over a bed in like a really strange position with socks on. That was it. The rest of it was just like everyday normal, like so many gym sets for like why. And then I got to the bottom of page 50, clicked at the bottom, and I was like, fuck. More photos. I don't care. I give up. Give up. Like,
yeah. So the farther you go into the data sets, right? Like data set 3 is where you start seeing like, I think it was data set 3. It might have been data set 4, but one of the last 2 data sets that they released is where you start seeing actual evidence stuff, right? So it's conversations that they've had with girls who had met, you know, Epstein, and what they were saying about him, and, you know, basically kind of like what was going on. Nothing like really graphic at all, at least for the first couple of pages that I read. But that's where you start getting more into like evidence, it looks like, as far as like conversations that they had with victims and stuff like that. But I did find it interesting that one of the photos I happened to click on, it was Bill Clinton in the pool. I don't know where the pool is at, right? I don't know if it's his, I don't know, because there were some photos that looks like they're at like, I don't know, some Middle
like
Eastern country or something. Yeah, like they're at a resort. Like it doesn't, I don't know if it's the island, like I don't know, you know, but they're in a pool. But it's Bill Clinton, then it's Giselle, and then there's another female whose face is redacted. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Why is her face redacted? And I'm assuming that some of the redacted information or like pictures of people is because they're probably victims. So obviously you want to redact those. I get that. But I'm like, that's interesting. He's in a pool, which is Elle. And another girl, his face is redacted.
And Maxwell has had lawsuits on her for a long
Oh my
time.
God. Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah. So my personal opinion on this, I made this TikTok about 2 months ago, and my TikTok kind of blew up. Not really, but it blew up for me. And so many people on there was saying this is gonna be the smoking gun. And my TikTok was this. This is going to be a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I know what everybody on the left wants to see a picture of Trump bent over with a 13-year-old girl. That's what they want to see. They want to see the smoking gun. And they're not going to see that.
Right. Or the Republicans want to see a Democrat with
doing
a 13-year-old girl.
Okay. But
in the
at
pool,
same
that's kind of
time,
close.
I was going to say at the same time, though, like everybody knew.
No. Point your mic is supposed to be pointed at your mouth.
Oh, everybody
There we
knew.
go.
Yeah, now you're really loud.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that Clinton was like a ladies' man, right? I mean,
Yeah. Now him being in a pool with an
Right.
underage girl, there's nothing illegal about that, right?
It's fishy.
It doesn't
it's
sit
sketch.
well. It doesn't sit well in your stomach, right? You're kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
But there's technically nothing illegal about that. He's not doing anything
Yes.
illegal. That's no different. Now, obviously, comparing Bill Clinton to anybody that you know is vastly different, right? But that's no different than me having a photo of like my stepdad in a pool with my kids. That's no different, essentially, right? Because there's nothing
essentially,
illegal
yeah.
happening.
Well, your
There's nothing
dad's
illegal.
related. Your dad's related. If we went down to Phoenix with and everybody, and at the family we were at with your graduation, they had a pool. If I was in the pool and we're running around playing, sorry, we'll edit that out. We'll beep it out. But your two girls, were jumping in and out of the pool, and I'm just sitting on the side of the pool. It would be the same exact thing. I'll show you how to beep that out. It's easy.
But so there's nothing illegal about it. Now, does it kind of seem weird? Yes. Does it seem like it leads to inappropriate stuff? Yes. But technically, there's
Nothing
nothing
illegal.
criminal in that
Yeah.
photo.
Right.
Right. But I did find it interesting, right? So there's a couple of the PDFs that you click on, and they'll have like 20 photos in that one PDF. I cannot tell you how many PDF tabs I opened. Every single photo, the entire photo is redacted. Like not just faces, the entire photo.
Yes,
Right?
because you can't really, there's still ongoing investigations. There's like, you are a
Yes.
cop, you know how long,
Yes.
and
Yes.
people were so wanting this to come out. And I was just talking to Sonia about this just before we got on. Trump was in a rock and a hard place. He was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. I totally understood why he shouldn't have done it, because it's static. It's going to create a whole bunch of conspiracy theories. It's going to create a whole bunch of noise, and nothing is going to come out of it. But if he didn't do it, he looks like he's hiding something. If he does do it, then we're going to have 3 to 4 months of fucking just static
Off
and
the wall conspiracy theories.
Yes. No matter how you
Yeah.
he was fucked either way.
Yeah.
And I also heard on Tim Pool that what's his face kept on saying something about why didn't he release it earlier? The Democrats had it for 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
I honestly think this was a game of hot potato.
Like why didn't Biden release it? Because this all
Because-
happened under the Biden administration. Didn't it?
No. So
Well,
Epstein was
started.
The trials started under the Biden administration.
The trials. Well, Maxwell was convicted, a year before Epstein was killed?
So Maxwell
think
was
so.
convicted in 2018,
Which is during Trump.
Yeah.
and then he killed himself in 2019.
Which is during Trump.
Trump.
But the
Yeah.
the investigations were still ongoing, so obviously he couldn't release it. When Biden came into office, fucking crickets. Did anybody
Yeah.
hear about the Epstein files the whole
No.
4 years of Biden? No.
No.
This was a game of hot potato. The Democrats did this on purpose. They held off because they knew there was no want to see these files. And
While Democrats held the office.
while Democrats held the office, the minute Trump got into, he also said something about how this was one of Trump's promises that he'd make. he campaigned on the Epstein files. He never, not one time in one of his speeches, campaigned on the Epstein files.
I heard him talk more about the JFK files and the MLK
Yes.
files than
Yeah.
anything else.
But this is not, mark my words, if the 20 people that watch us, mark my words, not one conviction is going to come out of releasing the Epstein files.
Not only, even if everything was not redacted, right? The only thing they ever redacted was a victim's name, right? Or a victim's face. Obviously, they're going to redact inappropriate, right? Like they're going to redact breasts, they're going to redact, coochie photos, whatever. Cool, all about it, whatever. Even if they were to only redact those pieces, nothing is going to come of this. We've seen this. We've seen this time and time again. You and I were talking about it. I think it was yesterday or something, right? Hillary Clinton, those emails.
Yeah.
The bitch should have been fucking in prison.
Yeah. We were
Did
both
anything
military.
ever happen?
No, we were both
Nope.
military. If we would have taken a hard drive out of a government computer and smashed it with a hammer,
We'd have been in Leavenworth.
yeah,
Been done.
20 years, you'd never see us. I would not be sitting here right here. There's no way.
Yeah,
And everybody
there was
just
there was a huge thing about this during COVID when people were able to work from home, because at the time we had everything was transcribed to laptops. Everybody had laptops, right? Because it was just easier when you moved workplace. You could just take your laptop, plug it into the dock, you were good to go. Okay, so everybody had laptops. So there was a huge working process to figure out how to keep all our data and information confidential and encrypted when you're using internet from your home.
Yeah. And when you use internet from your home even on your lap, it becomes a government laptop. It's now property of the government. So for anybody that gets on here and says, well, it wasn't a government computer, it was her own computer.
Doesn't matter.
It was it was her own computer she bought. But since she has it is officially now the government's computer.
Yeah, so people were getting CAC readers for their computers, and they were plugging them in so they could get like W-2s and personal information, like their own personal information from government affiliated websites. Yeah. The second you plug that CAC reader into your computer and you put your CAC in and you access a government site that is only supposed to be accessed when you have a CAC reader, it's officially government property.
Yeah, I had a CAC reader the whole time. Well, when they came out, I had one for my home.
Nope. I never did. Nope.
Oh, I did.
Nope, I did not. If I needed it that bad, I would drive my happy ass to base and go to my work and get on a computer. Nope, because I didn't want that right there. I didn't want something. Now, granted, I'm not doing anything illegal, but I don't want the government knowing what's on my computer. Even though there's nothing illegal, I have nothing to hide. But if you have no reason to go looking at my personal documents on here, then you don't need to have it.
And let's be honest, Sonia and I know this personally. If you have nothing, the whole biggest thing I've heard a lot of the TikToks, well, if he has nothing to hide, he should just, come out and talk about it. No, even if you're innocent, you don't fucking talk to anybody.
Yeah, that's like when a cop pulls you over, even though you have nothing to hide, right? If the cop says, "Hey, can I search your car?" No. Even if I have nothing to hide, no, you're not searching my fucking car. Like, this is my private property. Write me my fucking speeding ticket and go on about your day, bro.
Yeah. OSI comes over and says, "Hey, can I come in the house?" No.
Where's your warrant?
Yeah, I want a warrant.
You want to search my shit? Where's your warrant?
No, and you could be totally innocent. So the fact that everybody's sitting there like, what does he have to hide? He doesn't have to hide anything. It's none of your fucking business.
I do like the theory, though, that people have brought up recently about him being an informant. Then he would have something to hide.
That's an old theory. Now,
then he would have something to hide.
That Epstein is an informant?
No,
Trump. That Trump flipped on him, and that's why him and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein had a fallout.
Trump and Epstein used to be friends. And this is another thing about Epstein. Dude was a billionaire. He knew thousands of powerful people. Thousands of powerful people took pictures with him. Thousands of powerful people rode on his planes. And I got so upset when I kept on hearing, was he in the Epstein files? If he talked to somebody on Facebook about a business deal, somebody's in the Epstein files, doesn't mean they were boinking a underage girl. That's not just because your name's in a file. So if my next door neighbor, I say if I knew them real well, we used to know them, they moved, but my next door neighbor, if he got convicted of child porn, he was dinking little girls, the cops would come and ask me because obviously we knew him. And I'd be like, yeah, I have no idea. If I knew nothing about it, like I just knew him kind of in passing and stuff like that, they'd talk to me. My name would be in the files. So I'd be in that file. Not necessarily that I did anything, but my name's still in the fucking file.
Yeah. Any
So-
witnesses, complainants, suspects, anybody they talk to, their name is automatically in the file.
Yeah. So just because your name's, and they were like, well, Trump's name is in the file 1,500 times.
Like, it could be the person that loaded the baggage onto the plane. Did you see Jeffrey Epstein get onto the plane? Oh, yeah, I saw him get onto the plane. Okay, tell me more. What was he wearing? Who was he with? Do you recognize anybody else? That Joe Schmo who was just putting the baggage on the plane, his name is now in the file.
And not paying attention to who's getting on the plane. He don't give a shit. He's getting paid $15 an hour to throw a bag on a fucking private jet.
Yeah.
Do you think trust me, I've worked baggage claim. You do your damn job. You fucking throw the bag on. Thank you, sir. And you fucking leave. That is it. You don't sit there and go, oh, well, she looks like she's 16. You're not doing that. You know?
No, you're throwing the baggage on the fucking plane and you're going about your way. You might slightly pay attention to the bag that says fragile. Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on
Maybe.
the mood that day.
Yeah. I had a bunch of friends that when I was still in the military, and they used to fly like the rotator or whatever, right? And they would put like they would wrap bottles of wine that they wanted to bring home, or like if they came back from like the Dominican or whatever, they would wrap bottles of booze really tightly and like bubble wrapped in clothes, and they'd put it in the center of their suitcase, and they would tell like when they were checking their bags in and they were getting checked, they'd be like, hey, you know, I'm bringing home some vases or whatever the case may be. Can you guys put fragile on the bag? Bro, they'd get their bag from baggage claim when they got back to the States, and their fucking bag would be sopping fucking wet because all the booze had busted open.
We are not gentle with that stuff.
No.
Oh my God,
No.
what am I, fucking Don Knotts
You
here?
can't even see it. Your microphone's in the way. Calm down.
I don't care.
But
Okay.
yeah, so I don't think it's going to have as big of a turnout as everybody thought, right? I mean, just looking at what I did see, like I said, there's pages of shit that the whole photo is, or the whole page is redacted, right?
Yep.
Like you go to the masseuses list, that whole page, redacted. Whole page.
Mhm.
No names, no nothing.
Yeah.
And these are
It-
just masseuses. Like, I don't know why their names are redacted. Maybe they were victims. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just masseuses and their whole fucking thing redacted.
It is a nothing burger. This is not
Yeah.
news. What's more news is, in my opinion, what's more important is the fucking shootings. We had
Yeah.
one in Australia, Brown,
MIT,
the MIT,
which they're saying right now, I guess, is connected.
it's connected
somehow.
to Brown.
Yeah.
So an MIT professor that was doing work on fusion reaction.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
He got
Oh, yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago, though, wasn't it?
No.
no. That was all this week
Yeah, it was all
or
this
last
week.
week. It was last week.
End
and
of
this week.
last week, I think, end of this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This week has just been. And
Which, yeah, okay. So the Bondi Beach shooting, okay, Australia. This is a perfect example as to why you should not ban guns. Because who were the only people in the country at that shooting that had guns?
the criminals.
Cops and the criminals.
Criminals. The fucking criminals. I can guarantee you, if that shit happened at like a beach in Florida, that shit would have been shut down before the cops even showed up, because some fucking motherfucker is carrying a concealed pistol and he's gonna fucking shoot the criminal and secure the scene essentially before cops even fucking arrive.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened in Australia, that they had I think it was like 5 or 6 different guys actually went over to the shooters and tackled them to the ground. And one of the people, one of my really good friends actually lives over there right now. She lives like 20 miles or something from that beach. And she said that it's absolute chaos over there because right now they don't want to admit the fact that they've let so many Muslims in, because this was a Jewish event that was happening at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Jewish event. 2 Muslims came, a father and a son. shot up the event, and it ended up being a bunch of civilians that stopped the two shooters before the cops even got there.
Yep.
There's footage of like the cops freaking out and taking off because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handle it. So even the cops were essentially useless. And because they've let in such a like ridiculous amount of Middle Easterns, it's their first shooting in like 30 years. And they're trying
Yep.
to say that, well, this proves that our gun laws work. Okay,
But it doesn't.
but it doesn't, because you still have underground guns. You still have black market, buying and selling. So it's not foolproof. You can't. And that's an island, guys. That's the biggest thing that I don't think other people understand is that that's an island. We as the United States have everything under
We
us,
have
and
bordering,
we have
bordering
everything
countries. Yeah.
right, and we have everything above us. Not to mention, okay, you fly from Florida to Cuba, that's within swimming distance. Like you can't do that. There would be no security in that.
Yeah, banning guns in America would not work. I've made that statement a ton of times before when I argue with anybody from Australia. And I'm like, yeah, it works really good for you guys because the only way to get into your country is by boat and plane. You're surrounded by an ocean. I was like, you can.
Yeah, but this
you can get a
situation,
train, boat.
this situation proves that even that is not. It's
Yeah,
not foolproof.
it's
It's
right.
not foolproof. Like you guys would be. It's not that fucking hard to fly a gun into a country. It's not that hard. If you know how to full-blown disassemble a gun, which I know how to do. I've been through classes and done training on, hey, we're doing a secret op and we need our operators to be able to fly on a commercial airline, check this bag, and then when they get to that country, they need to be able to open that bag and put together an AR.
Yeah.
Here's the list of items that we need. Here's what they're going to need. Pack this bag and make it to where they could sneak a fucking AR into that country.
Yeah.
Here's how many bags they're going to have. Figure it the fuck out. I've been through classes where we've done that.
Yes, there is nothing that says that you can't bring one person bring a stock, one person bring a charging handle, one person bring if you have 4 or 5 bags, I can break down my AR in, I'd say, under 30 seconds, easy.
The hardest part I will tell you is because you break the barrel away from the upper receiver. That's the hardest. That's the hardest. It's not even that. The hardest part is they have to be able to put that weapon back together, right? Because they just want the gun, right? They're not like they might bring in they might check a small bag of like certain tools or whatever, like because their undercover op is what am I thinking of? Their cover is that they're doing a construction, right? They're a part of some construction team and they're evaluating or doing whatever for this new real estate that's going to get put up or whatever the case may be, right? So they might have like a small bag of tools, but the hardest part is being able to do it in a way to where they can get the barrel and the upper receiver back together on the other side. That's the hardest part.
Now, obviously, all three of us are big Second Amendment advocates. We completely believe everybody should be able to own a gun. I totally agree with the fact that, in my opinion, I honestly think to fix all the accidental shootings, charge an extra $10 per gun. For every gun bought, charge an extra $10. And I will tell you
You're
right
welcome.
now, charge an extra $10. And for every gun, and every gun owner would be more than happy to pay this $10 and make your first time gun purchase. You have to take a mandatory, I'd say 48-hour class, a 48-hour safety course before you buy the gun for your first one. And it's free, provided by the state.
Yeah, I think it would go pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I like the idea also of like incorporating like a hunter's ed class
Back into schools?
Yeah, I think that's a genius idea. I mean,
we had it.
Like the hunter's ed that I went through, right? It was a week long. We went every day for a couple of hours, right? And they taught us like you had to bring a rifle Okay, and they taught you how to break your rifle down, how to clean it, how to clear it, how to load it, right? They taught you all the things, how to shoot safely, how to carry it safely, transport it safely, the whole 9 yards. And then, obviously they go into like shoot, no shoot scenarios with different animals that you could be hunting.
Yeah.
But I think something like that, like, I don't even think it needs to be 40 hours, honestly. Like, I think first time gun owners, like, they should just have to go to a course where it's a couple hours on handguns and it's a couple hours on rifles, and maybe incorporate a couple different types of rifles. Incorporate a bolt action and incorporate a semi-automatic.
I don't think I think a 1 day 8-hour course.
I think that'd be good. And they do both.
So I obviously grew up in Upper Michigan. My dad was military, so guns. You grew up in Arizona, always a Second Amendment state. Were you ever taught anything, Sonia? And so you came from Jersey. You're the only person here from a blue state, a very blue state. When you were in school, in high school, I mean, was there any talk of guns? Did any of the kids talk about guns? Yes, you were a military brat, but I'm talking more from like the civilian world of a blue state. Was it a scary thing for them? Like what was going through their head when it came to guns?
So I can't think of anything like off the top of my head, but there's one specific memory that I have that lives like literally rent free in my brain. So when we lived on base, right, it was normal for us to see, the full big ass, like whatever they carried. I'm not going to try to sit here and pretend like I knew, but the gate guards all had guns on them, and there was multiple, they'd have their big one, and then they'd have like a couple on their sides, and you always had like the one guard that kind of stood back a little bit more and seemed to have like one strapped to his back and the big one that he was holding. But
like a saw.
Regardless,
yeah.
like I remember so vividly, like the first time that I brought one of my civilian friends on base, right? And I remember them being like, holy shit, are we going to get shot? Like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, what do you mean? And for me, I was so like desensitized by it, but it didn't even, it wasn't like hey, I didn't even think to warn them. It was just, they genuinely were panicking because they saw there was, I think at the time there was like 4 guards, because the base was on like a semi-holiday lockdown, not lockdown. So there was like 4 of them, right? 2 for outbound, 2 for inbound. And I remember turning around and being like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are we going to get shot? And they're like, dude, that little girl right there, that gun's as long as she is. And I was like, yeah, what's your point? And they're like,
oh, you saw Hannah at the gate.
pretty much. But I remember them like freaking out the whole time. And I was like, guys, shut the fuck up. Like, this is totally normal. Like, it's fine. This is fine. This is the normal thing. It's fine.
I'd
They're
like
here
to
for
point
our
out
protection.
that the only gun that is almost as tall as I am is the 240. Okay, I'd like to point that out. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was just, it was like so wild in my brain because I grew up on base. I mean, I lived on base until I was 15.
I'm so glad you told this story. Because this is how I picture every leftist that's like against guns or thinks there needs to be more bans on guns. This is how I imagine that they are. That if you were to take them to a military installation, they would be like, "We're gonna die." Like,
no, they do. They like
you're
full
not.
ass
You're
panic.
okay.
So I will tell you, I had a similar experience when I was at Travis Air Force Base, California, and my sister grew up.
Take a seat back from your mic.
My sister grew up with obviously in the military. Well, she moved away, went to California, got married to a civilian, had kids. And my sister is very liberal. She is very, very liberal. California fits her perfect.
Love you, sis, but.
Yeah, love you, sis, but. So her son, Josh, he was, I don't know, like 13 or something like that. And I took my sister and Josh, they lived in San Jose at the time, I think it was, or Tracy, one of the two. And I brought him onto the base. Josh has never been anywhere near a base. This is a 13-year-old kid. We drove up to the base, and just like Sonia and her friends, we had the Humvee with the 50 cal sitting off to the side.
That was like mandatory at every base, I feel like.
Yeah.
For a
so-
while, during
yeah.
a certain time it was.
Yeah, so we had the Humvee with the 50 cal off to the side. You know, they're holding the shut up when I say this, they're M16.
We still have them.
Yep. So they were holding their M16, and I think one of the and obviously they all had the Berettas, and
Yeah.
I didn't think nothing of it. Like I pulled up to the gate, gave her my ID card, took my sister's driver's license, showed her, and then the guy peeks in because Josh, I did not know, Josh is huddled down into the corner crying.
In
Like,
hysterics.
he was scared to death. And I turn around and I was like, okay, said thank you to the SP. He gave me my shit back and we took off. I pulled over to the next like parking lot, which I think was the headquarters, was right next to the gate. And I turned around and I was like, are you okay? He was scared to death because he thought the SPs were going to shoot. Like they were
That face.
terrified. And my sister,
I don't understand. Okay, I can understand never being around guns, right? And having never been exposed to them, right? But like you're a fucking American citizen going on to a US military installation. Like why the fuck would they shoot you to begin with?
because they honestly believe that the gun will just go off.
Bro, I don't like. Oh god, dude, like this.
So-
the debate that people have of like guns kill people. No, guns don't fucking kill people.
Matter of fact, you know what?
My gun has been sitting next to my bed for the past fucking year, and it hasn't gone off
killed
one.
anybody.
Hasn't killed anybody.
So my friends didn't think that the gun was gonna like
Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
shoot people or whatever.
but like,
But
it does your car go out and drive itself? And I hate comparing cars to guns. Like, I heard a podcast yesterday, actually Tim Cast, and this is now why I totally understand why people get so irritated when people talk about cars and they compare them to guns. But like, it's a piece of a machinery. It's a tool, right? It's a piece of machinery. Does your car go out and fucking drive on its own?
got a case of
Like, do
Christine
you wake
here.
up at 5 a.m. and you're like, "Fuck, man, where'd my car go?" Like, he must have been fucking. He obviously needed to go for a fucking drive. So
do
we
me
went.
a favor. Yeah, do me a favor, guys. If it decides to like turn around and
I'm
aim
not
at
warning
me,
you. I'm not
can
warning you.
Tell me
No,
when
not
it
warning
gets
you.
up and pulls its trigger. Okay.
Yeah. I'm
So
not
I
warning
want-
you.
I want to be safe. I want to be safe.
But it just blows my mind. Like I don't think people understand how much testing guns go through, just like any other piece of equipment or tool, right? Like cars go through so much testing before they actually get made and put out on the market, right? For safety and whatever else. Like guns go through all these same tests. Like I can't
Yes.
just put a
So-
gun together and then go sell it on the fucking market. Like that's
With
not how it
that
works.
being said, we did have the random gun that, for whatever reason, did go off by itself. Correct?
No.
No.
Hold on.
No. Okay,
That's
so
the
okay,
6
so
hour.
so
That's
the
the
6
6 hour.
hour,
Okay.
the 6 hour. I think the civilian equivalent is the P
320.
20, something like that. I can't remember.
Think so.
Okay, but the military gun is the M17 or the M18. Okay, it failed the initial drop test. This is what I mean when guns have to go through testing. So every manufacturer has a specific set of rules, essentially,
Mhm.
okay, that's testing that the guns have to pass. One of those tests is that you have to drop a gun from a specific height at a specific angle, and it has to land at a certain point on the gun, and it has to not go off.
While loaded. While loaded.
While loaded. Okay.
Okay.
So-
Round in the
Chambered
chamber.
everything on fire, the whole 9 yards. Okay. And so like, if this is the back strap of the gun where your hand goes like this, right?
Mhm.
And this is your barrel. So they literally have to take it at a certain degree and they have to drop it so many feet. And when that gun impacts the ground, if it's not made correctly or it doesn't have specific safety functions, that impact, right, of a moving object coming in contact with a stopped object,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
the inertia will send the firing pin forward and it'll make it
Okay.
shoot. They
Yes.
have to pass that test. The
Yes.
Sig Sauer M18 and M17, when they first were getting designed and they were going through all the testing to make sure that they were going to pass these tests in order for the military to carry them, it failed. And everybody was wigging out because it failed. Like, I remember being at CADM in Minot when we were going through all of this. Now, at the time that it failed, we hadn't been issued any guns yet. Okay? No guns had been issued to us yet.
Yeah.
Because they
It
were
was still in the
going,
testing phase.
Yeah, it was still in the testing phase. Because the civilian gun has different features than what the military gun has. So they had to, I don't want to say essentially remake it, but they basically had to re-fucking make it to make sure that it met all of the requirements that the military wanted for the contract.
But this
And
was
there-
like pretty recent that I'm talking about. Like,
so you're
he,
talking
like,
about the airman that got shot. So what had happened? There
No,
was
he like
Oh,
set
yeah.
it down on his table or something and it went
Yes,
off.
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking.
No.
Okay, so the initial story
Yeah.
was he took the gun, he set it down because he was at the end of his shift, and
Okay.
he set the gun down. They all were standing around. It was like 3 airmen that was standing around, and the gun just went off.
That doesn't
This-
happen.
This put a stop. Like, this made ripples through the Air Force.
Yeah.
Bad ripples. It shut down. Like, all the cops got told, turn in your gun. Like, everything got stopped. Come to find out, he was playing around, pointed the gun at a friend, and pulled the trigger and killed him. That senior airman got the other A1C to tell the story of the gun was on the table and it just went off. That's what happened.
Yeah, I remember this. I hadn't even heard of the story, and I remember Damien had sent me a video about it, right? And this guy was talking about it and everything. And as soon as they were like, "Oh, he put the gun down and it went off," I said, "That's a lie. That's a lie if I've ever fucking seen one. Like,
Matter of-
guns do not magically go off,
Matter
right?
of
Does
fact,
your
I mean,
car
yeah, that's-
magically drive by itself?
I mean,
Right?
that is
Does your cell
padded.
phone send text messages that you don't fucking know about?
Yes.
No. Unless somebody's hacked it, no.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so much equipment and so
Yeah.
much. Does a crane build a fucking building or knock a building down without an operator?
No.
No.
Here's a super random question for you guys. How do you build a really big crane? Do they just build bigger cranes to build said crane? You're welcome.
Did you guys know there's more airplanes at the bottom of the ocean than there is submarines in the sky?
Funny.
Okay.
So we all agree on the whole the class thing. We would agree with
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
an 8-hour. You have to do an 8-hour class to buy your first gun.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing: should you be able to buy one at 18?
No.
Okay, so this is where like my head is like torn because I feel like if you're old enough to fight for our country, then yeah, you should be able to buy a gun.
Okay.
So
But
here's
hold on.
I don't like my gun sitting there.
That's fine. You do whatever you gotta do, boo-boo. So I feel like if you're old enough to fight for our country, then yes, you should be allowed to buy a gun. However, with that being said, I think that there should be, like, instead of it just being an 8-hour class, I think you should have to go through like a 2-day course at 16 hours, right? 8 hours a day, 2 days, how to clean it, how to assemble it, how to safety on and off, what happens if it jams, what happens if, it I don't know, shoots you by itself. Like, I don't know, just like you should
We just went
go
over
through-
that.
we call that a negligent discharge, by the way.
Yeah, there's a name for it. It's called a
So-
negligent discharge.
I
Yeah.
think that at 18, you should have to go through like a 2-day course before you're allowed to have whatever gun you want, right? Because I think most teenagers
So-
are like, oh, I want a handgun.
So, okay, so what are the, well, you can't buy a handgun until you're 21 anyways. The only thing you
Right.
can buy at 18 is a rifle. Okay.
Right. So that's what I'm
So,
getting at, though.
My thing is, at 18, what can you do as a legal adult? What can you
Vote.
do?
Fight for your
Mm.
country.
You can. No, you can't even rent a car.
You have to be 25 to rent a car.
Can you buy cigarettes, or is that 21
Nope.
too?
That's 21.
You can get a tattoo.
You can.
Well, some states you can get a tattoo younger, right? You just have to have
Parental consent.
You can work.
consent,
You can.
right?
You can work in porn.
Yeah,
the average person, okay, they turn 18. What do they have to look forward to? They can vote.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, the big things. Yeah,
You can join the military.
Yeah, but
well,
that's
you
it.
can join one at 17 with parents' permission.
Mm-hmm. So there's only two things that you get when you turn 18, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like back when we turned 18 and we could smoke.
Oh yeah, we were full adults.
Right, you were full blown fucking adults. The only thing you couldn't do was buy alcohol.
Yeah,
that was it. That was the only thing we were waiting for from 18 to 21. We were waiting for 21 to drink alcohol. And I'll tell you what, you want to drink alcohol at 18, join the military, go overseas. You get to drink. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And then I came home under 21 with a severe drinking problem and couldn't fucking buy it on my own because I was drinking constantly while I was overseas.
Bitch, I've been drinking for 2 years.
Yeah. Literally, I was like, I've been drinking for a while. Like, and I got a whole nother year to fucking wait. So, okay. So you want to drink at 18? Go overseas. There you go. Boom. Now you go to fucking Mexico. You can go drink at 16. Okay. But so you turn 18, you get to vote.
And join the military.
So why don't we just move the legal age of adult to 21? You can drink. You can join the military. You can buy cigarettes. You can vote. You can buy a handgun. And you can buy a rifle.
Okay, so...
Are you saying even the military? You can't sign up for the military till you turn 21?
Without parent consent, yes.
I hate to say it, that would solve a lot of problems.
It would.
I unfortunately, I've worked with a ton of young airmen, 17, 18 years old, and 19.
And they get in a lot of fucking trouble.
Oh my God. They
get in a lot of fucking trouble.
They do stupid shit because not everybody in the dorm is 18. You have 21, 22, 23-year-old people in there and they're drinking. And yes, I know you're not supposed to give alcohol to the new airmen or what.
Right, everybody does it. I came back from overseas at 20 and had been drinking, okay? And I literally hit up a friend on my flight and I was like, hey, I give you $40. Can you get some booze and I'll meet you like outside of base so you can give me the booze? Because I had already been fucking drinking.
And she's a cop, people.
And I'm a cop. I broke the rules. We had dry dorms, okay? My dorms in California where I was stationed at Beale, our base commander said we had dry dorms. So you could not have booze in the dorms. I had booze in my room.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, though. I think dry dorms are a good idea. I think a lot of people get in trouble when it comes to alcohol.
All that's gonna happen is people are gonna break the rules. Ramstein did that for the longest time. I remember.
Yep.
My ex-wife. I went and visited her, and they had a dry dorms room. Guess what we did? We bought booze and we brought it back to the fucking dorms.
Okay, so 21.
Because even in the dorms, right? You still have a locker, right? They still give you a locker, and if you put a lock on it, they have to have a warrant to come and open it because it's locked.
Yes. So I agree with I can almost get on board with the 21. Almost get on board. Here's the problem that you're going to run into. You got what about consent?
So my 19-year-old, let's say we move the legal adult age to 21. Okay, my 19-year-old wants to go get married. What do people do now when they're underage and they want to get married?
Right, but if that 19-year-old wants to date a 21-year-old, which is right now very acceptable, like nobody blinks an eye on it.
I think there would have to be caveats, right? But I think because we're so used to the age of adulthood being 18 that if we were to change the legal age of adulthood to 21, people would have these are a lot of concerns that people would bring up. Well, guess what? If we move the goalpost back farther, guess what? That's where the goalpost is at now. Because at 19, you're still a what? You're still a teenager.
Right. Okay.
So I think you just have to move the goalpost back and back.
That means if you're 20, you're not a legal adult.
No.
Okay. Neither is a 16-year-old girl.
No.
What would happen if a 20-year-old was dating a 16? Both of you are technically underage.
What happens now when we have 17-year-olds dating fucking 14-year-olds or 15-year-olds?
It depends on the state.
I think the states would be allowed to adjust their age of consent, because every state has a different age of consent. Some it's 16, some it's not until you're 18 when you're technically an adult, right? Because children do not have bodily autonomy, in my opinion. So I think everywhere it should be the age of consent should be adult, because children do not have bodily autonomy. If you are not an adult, you do not have bodily autonomy.
So what about college?
I think you should be able to go to college early, because college isn't anything different than high school. I mean, granted, yes, you have to pay the money for it, but if you graduate high school and you want to go to college, go to fucking college. You're just not an adult.
But you're on your own.
But you're not an adult. They still have dorms, right? So I think you're okay.
I see pros about it, but I also see a lot of cons. I think you're going to run into a lot of problems.
Like what?
The age of consent.
Every state already has age of consent. In some states is 16. You're nowhere near to being like, I don't care if you're 2 years away from being an adult or not. Like, a 16-year-old should not be able to consent to having sex with a fucking 30-year-old, even if the age of consent is 16. No matter what, I think no matter what, even now at the age of the adult age being 18, we still have, if a 16-year-old says that she consented to having sex with a 25-year-old, then it's consent.
Yeah, certainly.
So that really doesn't matter.
I think if you're going to move the age for adulthood to basing it on their age, I think the age of adulthood should just be 20.
I feel with 20 more year. I think you can go
everything.
Yeah, I think 20. Yeah. Like, I don't understand why tobacco got moved to 21. I don't understand that. That blows my mind. That blows my mind.
Because the same reason as alcohol. That too. But the same reason as alcohol. Our brains aren't fully developed.
My thing is,
if your brain ain't fully developed, then you can't. You
shouldn't be doing anything. You shouldn't be doing anything.
Right.
Yeah. And if that's the case, your brain doesn't fully develop till 25.
Right. That's too much for me. That's right.
But you see the logic reasoning.
Yeah, I see the logic reasoning. But if that's your case, then you need to go. If you're going to base it off, you're not developed. At 21, you ain't developed neither. So if we're going to base it off of development, then yeah, we should say 25. That's 25.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to do it just based on like, okay, 19 is still a teenager, make it 20. Make it just a solid 20. You can smoke, you can drink, you can vote, you can fight for your country, you can blah, blah, blah. At 18 and 19, you need parental consent to get married. You need parental consent to join the military. You need parental consent to go to college. Like, then make that the rule. But
because that blows my mind. You can go to fucking college at 18, but you can't buy booze. You can't buy cigarettes.
Nope. What blows my mind is that you can sign a contract for
with the government.
For $100,000 loan, and then go to college and be $100,000 in debt at 18 years old. That is ridiculous. And you know what? I have
at 18, there's people who are, but in between all of our three ages, right? There's people that are on the closer spectrum to me and Sonia, and there's people on the closer spectrum to Damien who don't even understand like interest rates and APRs. Like, so an 18-year-old definitely, unless they had really good parents that were financially fucking smart and financially educated them, when they go to sign that $100,000 loan to go to college and it says you have a 26% interest rate, they don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Wild.
They don't know what that means. You're never paying that off. Unless you pay that all the fuck up front, you have no idea what that means.
You're gonna die in debt.
Well, the government wants that. Make no mistakes. Republicans and Democrats both could fix the school loan issue right now, because the whole big thing for the past 6, 7, 8 years has been take away the school debt,
the student loan forgiveness.
The student loan.
So I don't agree with completely 100% forgiving it. Right.
Hold on. I have an idea how to fix this. The government, first of all, the government doesn't want it fixed. They're making way too much money. The loan places are making way too much. They do not want it.
I would stop paying. I'd stop paying my fucking loan.
Well, the easiest way to fix
it, file for bankruptcy.
To fix it and make both sides happy, Democrats and Republicans, is do away with the interest. No more interest. 0% interest. No, 0% interest.
I think it should be like
that. School loan.
Like, no, that's what I mean. Like a flat rate. Like if the college requires $100,000, it's $100,000.
$100,000.
You pay $100,000 back. Yes. If the government wanted to fix it,
I
That's how
could say
they fix it.
yes. I'd say yes, but I would say yes for specific career fields, right?
Yes.
If you're going to MIT to go be a diesel engineer, one, your loan isn't going to be $100,000. So if it's $50,000 and I would say they should have a set, like it cannot go above 15%, right? It has to be like almost kind of like, I don't want to say VA loans because our interest rates are based off of,
but a fixed APR.
but a fixed APR, like, hey, you're 18, you have a 0 credit score, you're getting 15%. And that's the highest it can fucking go, right? And that's pretty fucking high.
But I also
Like,
think that we as a country need to
manageable.
stop relying so much on credit scores, because I know people with shitty credit that can't seem to get their credit out of the trash can, but they can make a $1,500 a month payment on a house, on a rental, but then you turn around and say that, okay, you can't buy a house because you have no credit. Like, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey has a lot of good, like, he 100% thinks the credit system is like the stupidest thing in the fucking world, and I agree with it. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't agree with the whole, like, oh, if you want to buy a $300,000 house, you should save to buy a $300,000 house. Nobody's fucking saving that much money. It's not going to happen, especially in today's economy. Like, it's not happening. Bro, I can barely save to fucking put tires on my car.
20% down, and you're talking, $60,000.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily agree with that, like, theory that, because really all your credit score does, like, if you have a perfect credit score, if you have an 800 and above, all it proves is that you know how to get debt, you know how to get into debt and pay it off.
Yeah.
That's all it proves.
Yeah.
Right? Like, my credit score is pretty good. Now, granted, it's dunked a little bit because my credit card is a little high, and because times are tough, I've been making the minimum payment, but I'm still paying it off. Like, it's still getting paid off. It's just getting paid off really fucking slow. But that's all your credit score proves, is that you know how to manage some debt and fucking pay it off. If you can do that with rent, which it blows my mind that rent does not count towards, there are some places that they're starting to report it on your credit and it counts towards your credit score. But why is that a fucking thing? Yeah. Like, if I can afford $1,800 rent a month for 3 years, then I can surely afford a $1,800 mortgage
house payment. Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, there's other things that come into play with that, right? Like, if you have to have flood insurance, you have to pay that up front, however much that might be. I don't know if it was for you guys, but like, we had to make our initial down payment for our wind and hail the first year.
So we had to pay we had to pay our first year of insurance. You did, you didn't worry about it because
I was so overwhelmed by the whole process. Like, I was just like, here you go, babe.
I paid
Bro,
for
I cannot tell you how much money I forked out when we bought the house. Like,
we forked out a lot.
It's a lot. Like, I had to pay, over a little over $1,000 for flood insurance. Now, granted, our flood insurance isn't mandatory, but we are in a flood zone, so we bought flood insurance because hurricanes are a fucking thing. But then wind and hail out here. Oh my God. I don't know what your guys' premium is, or like even your deductible. Our deductible, bruh, if our house got taken out by wind and hail today, it would take me 30 years to be able to afford the deductible. Like, our deductible is so fucking high.
Our deductible's $1,000.
Yeah, times that by fucking 7.
So I did, just so you know, I did pay our first year of insurance up front. They wanted it the first year up front. They wanted a couple things up front, and I paid for it because we had been saving for 6 years to get the house. So when anytime they said, hey, we need $1,000 for this, or I just went in and paid it. Yeah. Like, I didn't even think twice about it. I just paid it. But I had been saving up for that, and I scrimped and saved. Like, we suffered for so many things because my goal was to get back into a house after I lost my house 10 years. Well, 2008, because my dumbass bought a house in 2008 just before the crash. So I bought a $225,000 home, and 6 months later, it was worth 110.
Yeah, we need another housing crisis.
No.
It can wait till after I sell my house, but
I was about to say,
we need another housing crisis. It needs to happen like right after I sell my house, housing crisis, so I can go buy a nice big house for cheap.
So the biggest thing is it's not going to happen. I thought for a long time before we bought this house, and we bought this house this last March. I kept on saying that the housing market's going to go down. The housing market's going to go down. There's no way it can hold this price tag for this long. And that was in March. And I just finally pulled the trigger and said, fuck it, and bought a house. And we're 9 months later, and it's still not, and there's no sign of it. You will never see $150,000 home in Arizona again. Unless it's a shit box.
Yeah, not unless it's like a shack.
Yeah, but because you used to be able to buy a mansion for $150,000 in Kingman, Arizona. Like you used to be able to buy a huge 3,000 square foot gorgeous house for 150. If you went to 200,000, you were living in the Wallapies. So you used to be able to do that. You will never see that again. 300,000 is going to be the average for a house in Kingman. 275 to 325. That's just going to be the average from now on because their sales have not gone down. Supply and demand. The supply has gone, the demand has kind of leveled out. The supply keeps on going up, but the prices aren't dropping.
Because everybody's fleeing friggin' California. They're selling their $1 million homes, coming over here and buying the houses outright.
Well, it's not like that too, right? But like, you look at Arizona, right? What do a lot of homeowners do? They're snowbirds.
Yes.
They buy those houses, right? Because the state that they're coming from, maybe they bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,500 square foot home, and it was $175,000 because that state has nobody fucking in it. Like Minot, you can buy big ass fucking houses for cheap because nobody fucking wants to live there, right? But then they go down to Phoenix or they go down to wherever and they buy a nice house and they spend 3-4 months out of the year there, whatever, right? And they rent it the rest of the time or they use it as an Airbnb, whatever. But, and I have an issue with that. Like, I have an issue, like, I do not think, if I am a resident of Texas, I do not think I should be able to go to another state and buy a fucking house. I don't like that. I think that's a problem. I also think it's a problem that foreign nationalists can come into our country and buy land.
I disagree with that. Yeah. China,
I don't
like 20% of the farms is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So up in Minot, North Dakota, when I was still stationed up there, we used to have briefings a lot by OSI because all the fucking farmland around the base was getting bought up by Chinese nationalists. The university right down the road, well, a little ways down the fucking road because it's like a 45-minute drive to fucking town from base.
Oh, it's not that bad.
But the University of Minot up there, or the University of North Dakota, whatever the fuck one it is, the Beavers. I think it's the Beavers. Is it the Beavers?
It's the Beavers, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Beavers. Majority of their students' demographics are Asian. Like, they used to do all kinds of briefings. Like, hey, majority of the students at, the university are Asian. So, like, be mindful that when you guys are going to the bars, because there's a bar right across the street from the college, be mindful what you guys are talking about because we don't know who or what they are. Like, they could be a fucking spy that's here on a visa to go to fucking school. Like, we don't know. So I have a huge issue with that. Like, I find it so mind-blowing that a foreign nationalist who's here on a work visa or a whatever visa or is just here fucking touristing can go and be like, I make a lot of money and transfer it over to USD. Oh, I can afford this fucking 300 acres in Minot, North Dakota. Let's buy it.
Do you guys agree with diplomatic immunity?
No.
Ooh, no.
No.
And
I don't.
Yes, it's the Beavers.
Okay, hell yeah, I knew it. I also don't agree with what the current status of asylum. I've been taught, okay, so being a security forces member, right, we get taught drastically about asylum cases, right, whether you're overseas, stateside, deployed, whatever have you. You cannot claim asylum from your country if there is not a threat to your life. Or if you don't have information that's beneficial to our government or our military.
So that was my argument for anybody. Now, from some of the third world countries underneath Mexico, kind of, I see it. But in that case, you're supposed to claim asylum at the first country you get to. So they should have claimed asylum at Mexico. But the people that are coming from Mexico into, and everybody's like, well, they're asylum. Well, AOC said that they're asylum seekers. So you're saying that Mexico is, are you saying Mexico's so bad that they need to seek asylum? On one hand, you're telling me how beautiful, wonderful the culture and these people are in Mexico is. And then on the other hand, they have to claim asylum. You can't have it both ways. Either Mexico's a shithole or it's not.
Yeah,
Which one is it?
It blows my mind that like Joe Schmo, right, or Juan Julio can come across the border and be like, "I'm claiming asylum." Bro, for what? Like, have the cartel threatened your life or threatened your family's life? No, then go the fuck back, dude.
Yeah.
Like, do you have information that's beneficial to our military or our government? Oh, you don't? Go the fuck back.
Yeah.
If you're not a spy that's coming over here to give us deep-rooted information about the cartel, about their operations, or deep-rooted information about their government, you're of no use. And I hate to say that, right? Because, I mean, human life is important and everything, but you're not going to come in here and fucking pillage my country based off of your, I'm at risk. You're at risk at what? You're at risk for your fucking abuela down the street? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
Throw that chocolate.
Yeah, like that's not a real world fucking asylum. Like that's not. Like the fact that they've tried to change the definition of an asylum, like, okay, so you can't get work in Mexico and you're fucking homeless and starving. Cool, go join the fucking 900 fucking homeless that we have in Portland. They're in the same fucking boat.
Yeah.
We have our own homeless to worry about.
Not to mention the Democrats say the most backhanded fucking compliments in the world. They sit there and say, well, who's going to pick pick the fields and who's going to do, you know what? No offense. The Democrats have said this before.
I guarantee you right now, you go find a handful of homeless veterans and you say, hey, we're going to pay for you to go to California and you're going to pick fucking avocados off the trees or oranges off the trees. And we're going to pay you $15 an hour. We'll pay for you to get there and we'll pay for you to fucking pick our oranges off our goddamn trees. I bet you a homeless veteran will take it in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah, but that's the problem is they don't want to pay that $15 an hour. They don't want to pay an actual wage.
Well, so once again, they're treating the Mexicans. The Democrats, once again, did this way back in the day. They said, who's going to pick our cotton? Now they're just saying, who's going to pick our avocados? Democrats have said this numerous times, and it's always with the minority. But they hire the Mexicans because they're undocumented. They can pay them slave wages. And they're like,
it's slavery. All it is slavery.
Slavery. It's just modern day slavery.
It's modern day slavery.
It's modern day slavery. And they were like, well, no American wants to do that. No American wants to do that for $5 an hour.
Well, so here's the other thing,
if minimum wage in California is $20, guess what? If you want me out here fucking 12 hours a day picking your fucking oranges, you better fucking pay me $20 an hour. And I better get dental and I better get vision and I better get fucking medical because by the time I'm 20 years into this, my fucking back's going to be needing, I'm going to be needing a new one. So you better pay for it.
So the other thing too about that is like a big thing of it is, so I've seen it a lot in the last, I don't know, probably the last 6 months or so. So we have, obviously Trump passed the law, right? That, you have to be able to speak English and read English in order to drive trucks.
CDL,
right?
have a CDL.
Yeah, CDL.
In order to have a CDL. And I deal with truckers all day, right? It's like my majority of my job. And when that law first came out, I was like, oh, hell yeah, like this is going to be awesome, right? And over the course of those 6 months, I found out, oh, well, that's because instead of it being, $80 or 80 cents for every mile or whatever, they were lowering it down to 20 cents a mile. And that's why they were hiring Spanish speaking because they could get away with it.
Ukrainian.
Yep. So I had a lot of Spanish speaking, right? And you have the ones that are very disrespectful about it when they roll up. And I know very little Spanish. I know just enough to ask you how you are. And I know you just enough to ask for your license. And it's not even a full sentence. It's literally just a word that I know. And that's it. Like, I look like I'm talking to a toddler because I'm like, oh, licencia, like licencia. And that's it. So the drivers that they roll up and immediately start speaking Spanish, it's so disrespectful because they look at you like you've done something wrong. And it's like, no. First of all, you're in Arizona. Second of all, you're in the United States. You should speak English. Even if you don't necessarily speak it, and this is where like I can kind of get away with it. If you don't speak it, that's fine. Do you understand me? If your answer is no, go.
I agree and I also disagree, right? Because there's
How do you
a
disagree?
lot of no. I agree with the law. I can't get on board with the like, oh, because you're in America, you should have to speak English. And I say that because, Damien, we've been to foreign countries.
Yes.
And how many times do they get fucking pissed because you don't know their language?
Okay. All the time, but that's why whatever country I go to,
You learn the language.
I make sure I know the language. So yes, I completely agree. You come to America, you need to speak American. I know it's English. I said that to be joking.
Yes,
by the
but
way.
when I went to Turkey, okay, I learned enough Turkish to where I could have, like, if I went out to a restaurant, I knew how to order my fucking meal. I knew how to ask for a check, right? And what I love about foreign countries is you don't tip. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
nice.
But yeah, so like I knew enough to order a meal, ask for a drink, right? Ask for the bathroom. I don't know any of it now because I haven't been to Turkey in over 10 years, but I learned enough to where I could get what I needed or get to where I was going, right? Because we would take taxis everywhere from base to off base. So I knew how to have a conversation with my taxi driver to go to where I needed to go and how to get back to base. Okay, and obviously they knew, like, I'm very fucking pale complexion, so they knew I was an American. They knew I worked at the base. So when I would get picked up to go back to base, they would, Adana, and I would say yes in Turkish, right? And they'd fucking take me to base. I'd pay them and go about my way. But I knew enough to get by, right? And I see a lot of that, like, yes, if you're just going to be a tourist and you're going to Spain or you're going to Italy or you're going to Germany or whatever, and you're only going to be there for like a week because you're on vacation, like, cool, maybe you shouldn't have to learn the language, but like you should learn at least a little enough to like get you by. Like at least take an interest to learn it, right? But yes,
these aren't
I would
tourists.
say, yes, yeah, I get that. So like, yes, I'd say if you're coming here to settle down and create a living here, right? Then yes, you should have to speak the English. And I do agree that CDL drivers, they should have to speak and read fucking English. Like,
see, and I was very big on it. I spent a lot of time in the Asia countries, and obviously there is nothing about me that looks Asian.
yeah.
Like, I mean, when I was there, I had hair, but other than that, I'm a redheaded, freaking white dude. There's no, but you drop me off in the middle of Korea, 안녕하세요, 아저씨. Hana dual set net dasa yasi gold yiro kamsamnida. Thailand, it's it's been a while since I've been to Thailand, but Sasadi is hello, and they have a different language for men and women, so it's a little bit harder. I wasn't there as long, but I spent a lot of time in Korea, and at the end of my tour in Korea, I could hold a complete conversation in Hangul. So when I say when you come to my country, you need to speak my language. And don't give me this shit that America doesn't have a national language. Fuck you, it's English. We all know it's English. Get over it. So you need to speak English because I hold myself to the same standards when I go to your country. And I make a valiant effort to speak your language. So if this short, redheaded fucking white dude could learn Hangul, Korean, then you can learn English.
This short, redheaded white bitch learned Turkish.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what, Turkish is actually fairly hard to learn Turkish.
Yeah, so it's Korean, Thai, Japanese.
That was at 18. That was 18. I had never been to a foreign country before.
Yeah.
Fresh out of my parents' house, 18, and I learned Turkish.
So, I used to do the same job my wife did. And she is, I will tell you, 1,000 times nicer than I was because I don't put up with that shit. I would walk out to the truckers and they would start speaking Spanish or Ukrainian or Russian or whatever. and do you understand English? And they would just, what they do is they just hand you
Their paperwork.
their paperwork.
Their papel.
Yeah, they hand you their
I learned
paperwork.
that today.
And I look at them and I'm like, who are you here for? And they're like, no. And they start, and I turned around and fucking walked away. If you can't speak English to me, I don't know where to send you.
Yeah, if this was me and that law was in effect, right, and it's like 100% across the board, it's in effect, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts, I'd be... 1 second. Mojave County Sheriff's Office. Hey, yeah, I got a guy out here who's driving a CDL and he doesn't speak a fucking lick of English. Can you guys send a deputy over here real quick? Because I'm pretty sure he's breaking the law. Okay, cool. We'll see you in 30 minutes. Thank you.
And just so you know, the other American drivers, they get pissed off.
Senor.
Yeah, they get pissed off at this too, because if you can't speak it, you can't read it, you should not be on the road. Because I can't tell you, at her job, because I did the same job at the same place, there's a big sign that says all deliveries park off to the side. There's a big dirt parking spot for all the deliveries to park off to the side. This sign has to be 8 feet tall, about 4 feet wide. It's taller than me by a lot. If you stand up next to the sign, it's huge. And what do? Every single fucking, they pull right up to the gate. And then when you're like, there's a fucking sign right there. They're like, and I know English. And you'd be like, mother, if you can't read this, what if the sign said crash ahead?
Yeah.
What if the sign said
edge of
road
cliff.
Ends? Edge of cliff.
Edge of cliff.
Just like that one guy that fucking flipped a Yui on the highway and killed a family.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with it, right? And I come from a family of a bunch of truckers, right? My biological dad was a trucker for the longest time. My grandpa has like 2 retirements from 2 different trucking companies. Okay, my uncle currently hauls logs in Arizona. My aunt on my dad's side was a trucker for ABF, got a retirement out of it. My mom was a trucker for a little while. Okay.
Your mom?
And she's still, my mom. Yeah.
I met
CDL
her.
license.
I did not see that in her.
Yeah, she got a CDL license. Yeah, my stepdad, he, I don't think he's ever actually like hauled and been a trucker, but he's got a CDL, so yeah, I mean, you definitely should, right? Because commercial driver's licenses, that's our bread and butter here in America. Like that's how everything gets from one coast to another coast, from state to state, so you should be able to speak English.
For me, it's a safety issue. You're driving something that weighs anywhere from, a couple 100 ton to, I see it at the mine all the time. They move heavy ass equipment, and you're talking about a truck that's like 20
Oh yeah,
tons.
you're talking Arizona. I think the poundage limit is 82,000, if I remember correctly. 82,000.
But you're talking about these really, really big loads, and so when you have this kind of situation to where, I just found out, if you have an oversized load, you cannot drive past dark. And I didn't know that. And the trucker was like, hey, I got to get out of here in a decent hour. I've got to get over to Nevada before it gets dark because I can't drive past dark, blah, blah, blah. And he was really stressing about it. But it's the thought process that you're in this thing that weighs 200 tons.
No. Okay, I just looked it up so we don't insult any of the actual CDL truckers, because I have a CDL license, but I was for the military, completely different. The typical load is it could be up to 80,000 pounds or 40 tons. That's a 40-ton missile doing 75 miles an hour down the highway.
Right. So, if you don't understand the signage and you don't understand the speed limit signs and you don't understand...
Or a commercial pull-off where you're supposed to get an inspection.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the emergency pull-offs.
Yeah.
That's all, super, super dangerous. And for me, it's something that, like I said, it affects my job every single day. And it's at a point where I didn't think I would agree with a law so much. But when you walk up and they start immediately speaking Spanish and you have to come over the radio and be like, hey, does anybody speak Spanish? Because I'm having a real hard time here. It gets to the point where you're like, now I feel like an asshole.
See, and I never did. I didn't care.
So
I walked away.
So I heard it on, I think it was Timcast's episode yesterday, but they talk about talking about healthcare and stuff, right? Like Medicaid, how Trump's big beautiful bill is supposed to get rid of Medicaid for X amount of people or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that guy that we don't like.
Ben Shapiro?
No, not Ben, Brian.
Brian Shapiro, sorry.
Yeah,
I keep on saying
Brian,
that's like the third time I've said Ben.
the leftist, as he introduces himself.
Oh,
Bro. Oh, God, this guy. Like, listening to him, I finally understand why people hate the conversation of comparing guns to cars, because I heard him do it, and I was like, your comparison doesn't make any sense.
He said a ton of things that I just wanted to go through the TV and fucking strangle him.
Oh, God,
So-
yes, so many things. But so he talks about this Medicaid thing, right? And he's talking about how, they're doing away with all this Medicaid stuff, and there shouldn't be Medicaid for illegal aliens and illegal immigrants and all this stuff, right? Which I completely agree with. And he talks about, well, if Trump's getting rid of all this Medicaid for, however many people who are elderly or young or don't make a lot of money or single moms or whatever. And he's like, where do you think they're all going to go to get health, or to get help, like when they need help with their care? And he brings up how they're going to go to the ER, like a diabetic. If they can't, because they're not on Medicaid anymore and they can't afford their insulin, they're going to go to the ER because they know that the ER is going to care for them. They're going to give them their insulin, whatever. So he compares us paying for all these illegal aliens who are going to ERs, which I see at my job a lot. Okay. All these illegal aliens going to to ERs to get care, and the American people are paying for it. And he compares it to all these people getting off of Medicaid or Medicare. Where are they going to go? They're going to go to ERs to get care. And guess who's going to pay for it? The American taxpayers are going to pay for it. And all these guys were like, well, first of all, these illegals, they shouldn't be here to begin with. Which he refuses to acknowledge the fact that they shouldn't be here. Right. But nobody made the comment about if some 70-year-old who is diabetic for some reason is not on Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, and they have to go to an ER to get their insulin shot or to get their dialysis because now they have no insurance, I'm totally okay with paying for American citizens having to go to the ER to get care. What I'm not okay with is all these illegal aliens who also don't speak fucking English going and getting care from an ER because they know that the ER is not going to turn them away. And then I have to pay for your care when you shouldn't fucking be here to begin with.
Yep.
Right? I'd rather pay taxes for 20 million Americans that don't have health care and they have to go to the ER because they have the flu, the cold, and they can't afford. I don't care what the scenario is. I'd rather pay taxes to help those 20 million Americans than I would have to pay taxes to help these 20 million illegal aliens that are in my country. And the dude can't even acknowledge the fact that they're not supposed to be here. And then he had the audacity to say that oh, well, coming across the border and being illegal, it's only a misdemeanor. Bro, that's still a crime.
Okay,
that is still a fucking crime.
They say that it's just a misdemeanor, but if I'm going down the road and I get stopped for a 70 and a 65, that's still illegal. I still get a ticket. I still have to pay the consequences. If I do any misdemeanor, yes, I may get away with it 20 times. But if I get caught, I still have to pay the consequences. You came into this country illegally. The consequences is your ass goes back. That's the consequences for a misdemeanor. Sorry.
And the funny part about it too is if you talk to the people that have come here legally, because that obviously was also a big part of my job. I worked with a bunch of Spanish-speaking people, and they came here legally.
You see it a lot too,
and they're pissed immediately. They say some of the most nasty things about the illegals that I at one point I remember having to look at one of the guys and be like, hey man, I need you to take a deep breath and we're gonna move on from this conversation because you're getting real hot about it.
It's like they're racist against their own kind.
Oh
yeah, it's bad. So I met one of my last couple of years in Minot. I met a young airman who was from, I don't remember exactly where he was from, but because there's a thing where you can be a foreigner and you can join the military and get your citizenship. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. There's a program for it. Okay. So he had done this program and he had gone through the whole thing, whatever. Okay, he was a citizen, and he was now sponsoring his parents so that they could become citizens. Now, he admitted that his parents had been in this country illegally for quite some time. Okay. But because he was now a citizen, they wanted to become citizens. And so he helped get them back to their country. He became a sponsor for them so that they can go through the process to become citizens. And at the time, we didn't have such a huge crisis with illegal aliens coming here. I mean, it was big, but it wasn't as big as like it was getting advertised that it is now. And I had asked him, I was like, how do you feel about like illegal immigrants in the country? And he fucking blew up.
Yep.
You know, and he basically broke it down for like the fact that like his parents who were here illegally for like 10 years, dad had a good paying job, right? Steady, obviously was off the books because he was illegal.
Yeah.
But, you know, mom had a good cleaning service that was off the books as well, right? They had good stuff going for them. And they deliberately went back to their home country in order to do the process right to become legal citizens.
People think that people think that white people are the racist people. You have never heard a minority group talk about their fellow minority. Listen to a legal Mexican talk about the illegals. They say them as listen to a well-educated, I don't even want to say educated, but that's bad, but a polite, well-mannered, whatever you want to put it. I know this wording is badly. Black person. They will say the N-word more times than you could shake a stick, referring to their fellow black person, their own people, because they hate them. They hate the fact that all black people are looked at like the one black person on the news that the news reporter finds, you know, what's the one guy that the memes
Hide your
about?
wife, hide your kids.
They were like, where do they find? But you know what? The news reports finds the fucking white trash white person too. They don't talk to like the educated white person. They find the white trash person. But people of their own culture are the most racist people in the world.
You want to talk about the most racist? Asians.
Hands down.
Asian. Like you talk about like somebody who's Vietnamese and you accidentally say that they're Korean.
Oh, so offended.
You just fucked their whole world. Like
it's dishonor on you, dishonor on your family.
Yeah, dishonor on your cow. Like
they don't like
bad.
And obviously, when we say this thing, we're not talking about all Asians. So calm down. I don't want to hear you fucking keyboard warriors going nuts.
Stop typing.
I'm Asian and I'm not racist. I'm talking general terms. We've all lived there. There's a difference. I've been to Korea. Trust me, they don't like black people.
I have a friend, a very, very good friend of mine. She is Filipino and Korean. And I met her.
How'd that one happen?
It's a long
Holy
story.
Shit.
It's a long story. Okay, but she's told me stories about like her family because they live in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And she has told me stories from her family again because she's Korean and Filipino. So that's already a bad mix.
Yeah.
But she's told me stories about her family and like the racism of like what part of the island you came from. Just Filipino in itself, right? What island you came from in the Philippines. They're racist against each other. I saw it in Turkey because you've got Turkish and you've got Kurds.
Yep.
Or something like that.
I think so.
And there's another one, and it's basically what part of Turkey you are from.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 factions in Turkey.
Yeah, so it's what part of Turkey you come from, and when you talk to them, the guy who you get posted with, depending on where you're posted at, he will literally be like, "We don't talk to him, Abi. We don't talk to him. Why don't we talk to him? He's Kirkish. We don't talk to him. He's garbage. You know, like shit like that." And you're like, "Oh, why is he garbage?" And like he'll take it all the way back to like historical times. Like
they think they're less than human.
When Turkey was before it became Turkey, it was what? Persia? No.
Yeah. No, I think it was Persia.
Was it? But he'll take it all the way back to like when fucking Jesus was walking in his goddamn sandals. Okay, like he takes it all the way back, and he like will tell you the whole historical faction of why he does
Fucking
not enter.
dumbass. Ottoman.
That's what it was. Okay, because you got to remember, Turkey is right there in the middle, where literally the east meets the west. So like the way Eastern Turkey is not the same as how like Western Turkey is.
Yeah.
Like you go to Istanbul, which I know Istanbul is a very westernized city now, but like you go to Istanbul and the way they are in Istanbul and the way they treat you is 100% different than where I was at. I was 50 miles from the Syrian border, and it's two different fucking worlds.
Yeah, I was in
Two different
Istanbul
worlds.
and it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, Istanbul's dope.
Yeah.
Back where I was at was not so hot.
Not dope.
No, yeah, I literally the day we got to Adana and got off the airplane to go to base, the first briefing we had was about how Syria had just started using biological weapons on their own people. This is back
Holy
when
hell.
Syria was doing like their own little civil war.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. So like literally we got off the plane, got to base, and we had a briefing, and they had upped our was it your DEFCON levels?
Mhm.
Right? They had upped our DEFCON level because Syria just announced that they were using biological
Yeah,
weapons, and
but-
we were 50 fucking miles from the Syrian border.
But I wouldn't even say that that's a cultural thing, because white people fucking do it too. I can't fucking stand these Breaking Bad meth motherfuckers. Like
I think that's just
anytime,
everybody.
anytime they pull off some even conservatives, like we're all Republican, we voted for Trump, the whole 9 yards. But when they pull some racist fucking redneck that voted for, he has a Make America Great hat on, and he's just talking the dumbest shit. I want to go through the screen and go, this man does not represent the rest of us. So don't even fucking listen to him.
No, it's the same. So I forget how long ago it was, but Netflix had a documentary that was based out of like Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, like I don't associate with those people. Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Okay. Like that's where you get the joke of like, why go across the street when you can go down the hall? Okay. That's where you get shit like that from. Okay. That's Alabama.
You gotta keep it in the family.
Yeah. You got to keep it in the family. Yeah. Okay. So
There ain't
It
no
was
love
like
like sister love.
there was a documentary. There was a documentary, and I'm pretty sure it was based out of Alabama. But they did like an interview basically of this family who, I kid you not, like worshipped Hitler, worshipped him. Like they had
Wow.
pictures of him around their house, right? Like almost like in North Korea, how they have pictures of the dictator and they have to have them.
Yeah.
I kid you, every fucking room, like they had a picture of Hitler, and he was like the main event. He was the only picture on the wall. They had swastikas hanging up in their fucking rooms and over their doors, and like it was like the Derek's bedroom from American History X. Okay, if Damien, I'm sure you've seen American
Yes, I've
History
seen
X,
it.
right? Sonia, have you seen it?
No, I don't think so.
Homework. Y'all have homework this weekend.
I don't
Great
fucking have
film.
homework.
Great film. Phenomenal film. Okay. Anyway, but that's what that shit looked like. And they straight up were talking about how the Jews had it so easy in Germany. They went to summer camp. They had pools, right? They could grow their own vegetables and herbs, and like they were living the great life. They didn't have to fight in the wars. Like they didn't have to do anything. And they literally had like the old propaganda photos from World War II where that's what it looked like they were sending the Jews to, was a summer camp with pools. And they 100% did not even register to try to believe that that's not where they were sent. Like they showed them photos of like, pictures from the Holocaust. They showed them photos of like pictures from Auschwitz and some other camps with like these, the skeleton bodies,
Yeah, Dachau.
Yeah, all that shit. And they were like, this is all a fucking lie. This is all American propaganda. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
Motherfucker, I've been to the concentration camps. I didn't see no fucking pool.
I mean, there might have been a pool.
There
but,
there were holes, but I guarantee you they weren't for pools. There wasn't water in those fucking holes.
Okay, so we're
a lot of
gonna
lime,
we're
though.
gonna we're gonna switch to a different less tragic topic.
But yeah, we don't.
Candace,
Us conservatives, we don't associate with those conservatives.
yeah. Candace Owens and Erica Kirk sat down for this meeting. I'm not gonna lie to you, I did no research, so I'm completely relying on you two. But I heard that things did not go well.
No, they went well. Candace fucking backtracked something fierce because she's been lying this whole fucking time because she's a lying.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. So I find it interesting. So I didn't actually watch her podcast, right? Because there was no way I was about to listen. Because I read the transcripts. I read like the first 40 minutes of the transcripts, okay? And in the first 40 minutes of reading her transcript, she rambled.
Yep.
Rambled. There was no potent information, okay? Which I'm assuming, because I don't know the actual intimates of their conversation, right? I'm assuming they had an agreement that like they weren't going to go run and tell the deep intimate of their conversation. Okay, right? That's why it was a private meeting.
Yeah.
With only them and I guess Erica's lawyers. Okay. But the fact that she backtracked so much and she was so vague with information and she didn't have anything concrete. It's so funny because I read a bunch of the comments on some of the TikToks that I had seen about it, and people were like, she got paid off, she drank the Kool-Aid, she found out Charlie's alive,
oh my God,
like just so much stuff, like, oh, she's backing down because she met Charlie, because Charlie's not actually dead.
No,
but so many people were basically saying that she was a sellout, that she drank the Kool-Aid, she's on the payroll now, right? And then there was a bunch of other people who are, I think they're more on like the conspiracy theory leaning, and they were like, this is all a joke. Like her introduction of her saying Shabbat Shalom and dancing to the Israeli music, right, was it was all a joke. And I'm like,
well, okay, but to play devil's advocate on that one just a little bit, like, how do you go from being in with like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk and all of them, and then you just fucking lost your mind, went off the deep end? Like, I get that, but like, it's just it has to, like, you can't make this shit up, and I get that, and so it's not a joke.
If you look at Candace's followers, from before Charlie Kirk's death till now,
they're all tinfoil hat wearing
fucking
motherfuckers.
It's skyrocketed though too. Like,
it was all
she went
money.
She went from being like top 100 podcasts, okay, to now she's like in the top 50.
So
skyrocketed.
What had happened, because she's worked for TPUSA, she's worked for Ben Shapiro. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Candace. Candace is an extremely smart, well-educated, fucking razor sharp person. She is. So everything she said, she knew exactly what she was doing. But when she was working for TPUSA and Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, they kind of kept her on a leash. They kept her in check. So
now, Ben and her used to be best friends, right? And then they had a disagreement. She used
to work for the Ben Shapiro show.
Yeah, she was on the Daily Wire, Daily News, whatever the fuck it's called.
Daily Wire.
But okay, so they kept her in check. So the reason she kept getting fired from every place or being let go, or her going her own way, or however you want to put it, is she will say anything on the mic that will get her views. That's all she cares about. And right now, what gets you views is
hating Charlie Kirk.
No, conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories. Everybody's big into the conspiracy theories right now.
If we wanted more views, we would just sit here and peddle conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. And
if we're going to do that, can we start with the 9/11?
No, if we're going to do that, and we need to start with Bigfoot.
No,
JFK.
No moon landing.
We've already talked about that one.
Yeah. But anyway, so they've kind of kept her on a leash. So when she got her own show, she's the boss. Yeah. She was able to fucking talk about anything. And what happened in that meeting, we'll never know. But I guarantee you, I will put paychecks down on this for a bet. She walked in there. Erica Kirk was very polite. She was very cordial. She was very nice. But she also said, this is my lawyer. you keep fucking saying this shit and you're not going to be rich anymore because I will own everything because you cannot say that many lies without saying, okay, you're getting real fucking close to a defamation lawsuit.
Yeah.
She
It
said,
should have been a defamation lawsuit as soon as she told people that they should have gotten their money back from TPUSA. That should have been a defamation lawsuit
right there. And I think listening to Erica Kirk talk.
Oh, did you listen to her speech at TPUSA?
No,
or not TPUSA, at AmFest?
No, I haven't heard that. I've seen Ben Shapiro's and that's it.
I listened to parts of it today, actually, and I don't know a whole lot about Erica Kirk, right? Like I've watched her speeches since Charlie's passing. I've watched the episode on the Charlie Kirk show where she is in them, but I don't know a whole lot about her. I know a little bit about her history and her upbringing with Charlie, right? Okay, when they got married and stuff. But I don't know a whole lot about her. But she's funny. She makes a joke about how, there's she made a joke in her speech about how there's because she asks, like, hey, raise your hand if you're from high school, right? Or if you're in high school, right? Raise your hand if you're in a college. Raise your hand if you're from a foreign country. And she breaks down the stats of how many members we have, how many of those members are women, college, high school, foreign countries. We have 8 representing countries, right? And she goes out to say, and she goes, and Egypt's not on the list, guys, just to clarify. And everybody fucking lost it, like hysterically.
So she was on Fox News the other day, and they really hammered her on where Charlie Kirk is buried. And she looked at her, and the most calm, I would have been hysterical, but she was the most calm. She was like, Charlie Kirk was part of all of you guys. We gave him to all of you. We opened up his
funeral
or
wake or whatever it was.
Or wake to the public. I have let you guys have him through this whole ordeal. This one's mine. She was like, I want my daughter to be able to go and sit down at his gravestone without some fucking protester off to the side yelling at her. And then then I have to explain to my daughter why she's getting racial slurs thrown at her.
Right. He's probably buried in their backyard. If I was her, that's where I would have buried him. I'd have buried him in my backyard.
Yeah,
I'd have been like, baby, you can go see daddy every day of the week.
But she was very honest. She was like, this one thing is mine. Can I have this? And to me, I'm sorry, that's not asking too much. Fucking leave her alone on this one.
So this thought, though, that we have to be involved in
everything.
Like don't get me wrong. I understand being a celebrity and being as big as Charlie Kirk was, right? But I found it so revolting when there were photos of like parts of him in his casket and her holding his hand. And I'm like, the American people don't need to see this. This is you. This is for you and your children and your families. Like, we do not need to be a part of this. And some people are like, oh, his hands are fake and that's a doll and he's not actually dead. Like, bro, have you ever seen a dead body that's been embalmed? Or
it's terrifying. They look fake.
It's not. They look like fucking dolls. That's the whole point. That's what the person does when they try to make them look lifelike. They don't fucking look lifelike because they're fucking dead. Yeah. I found it revolting. I was like, bro, you should have never posted this shit. And I get why she did, but like that should have just been for you. That should have just been for you and your children and your fucking families. Like, we had no business as the American people being a part of that.
Right. Just absolutely like I think that I'm going to tie this back in a little bit, but I think that the Epstein files are the same thing. Like, I don't think that we have any business knowing every single detail. I think that there comes a point to where, in my opinion, they should have released everything after it was all said and done and been like, listen, the victims don't want to be named, but as of right now, like, the body count's at whatever it is, and he's getting prosecuted, and obviously he can't be prosecuted because he's dead. I know that. Let's just calm down.
He was murdered.
But
he committed suicide.
That's a conspiracy.
But like, I genuinely don't think that we need to know everything about everything. I feel like America has become so fucking nosy that there's no lines, there's no boundaries anymore. There's no.
So I agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
Right. So the reason I agree to disagree is, yes, I do agree that American people are we're fucking nosy, right?
Yeah.
We're rubberneckers. We see an accident on the road and we're okay, we're rubberneckers, whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to politics, when it comes to the government and public officials, guess what? When you fucking signed and you rose that hand and you said that you were going to be a public servant to the United States of America, all your fucking privacy went out the window. Who you sleep with, not private no more.
Okay.
What fucking bills you sign, not fucking private anymore. What you do behind closed doors, not fucking private anymore. Because now you work for the American people. So everything you are involved in, everything you fucking touch, everything you fucking lick, don't care what it is, we are now subject to whatever it is you are fucking doing. Because what you do has severe consequences to the American people.
Right.
I can
But
understand that.
Charlie Kirk wasn't a politician yet.
No, yeah. So Charlie Kirk, everything about Charlie Kirk should have been kept private. Right?
But with the
So-
Epstein files specifically, I feel like it should have been, like I'll stand by the after everything's all said and done, because I think that with there being so much information, it's almost like let's drown the American people in all of this information and hope that they all get bored of it, because nobody wants to read through 90,000 fucking pages of legal garble, right? It should have been, hey, we found, Clinton, Trump, fucking Obama. I heard his name a couple times. These are the three main ones that we found. Oh, we also found all of these politicians, and these are the repercussions. This is what we actually found on them. This is what, instead of it being, hey, here's pictures of his house. Who cares? Who the fuck cares? And if Bill Clinton was, okay.
Because you got to think about it, right? Like, so that photo we talked about earlier with Bill Clinton when in the pool with Giselle, and then there's a redacted female, right? If she's redacted, we can assume that was of underage and she's probably a victim, right?
Right.
As a politician, you are to uphold a higher standard, right? The military gets preached this forever because you're a military member. You have to uphold the standard. Like, you have to be better than the average American. Like, you can't get DUIs. You can't have accidents. You can't make mistakes. Well, guess what? As a politician or a public servant to your state or the United States, you can't fucking make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? So I agree with that. Like, they should have waited till everything was said and done. The issue I have is, just like we've seen with something crazy that's happened that affects politicians or people of importance in America, JFK, MLK, right? Pretty much any of the Kennedys who have been assassinated, okay? Everything gets fucking buried. It gets buried because they're protecting these people of power.
Yeah.
And in actuality, they don't have any fucking power because we put you there. We, as the American people, we put you there. You don't have any fucking power.
I agree with that too, but at the same time, like, I think that, for one thing, I think that there's so much technology as it is that for things to be 100% buried is like next to impossible. But if you're gonna just give us a bunch of redacted shit anyway, what are we gaining from it?
Yeah, you shouldn't have given it. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, like the fact that I found pages and pages of stuff where like the full image is redacted, that's useless. You shouldn't have fucking released it. Like,
or blacked out print or whatever. Like, it just doesn't.
Yeah,
what
like
was
I said,
the point?
I would agree with redacting victims' names.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have that victim's address, location, their private information, okay, cool, redact it. Everything else, free for the fucking viewing.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if it's a 14-year-old girl who's a victim and she's spread eagle on a bed, redact the image.
Yeah,
cool. All about it. But you don't need to fucking release it then. But the issue that we're going to run into the conspiracies are going to kick off that all these redacted photos are politicians, Donald Trump, Obama, or whomever.
Yeah.
They're redacted photos of those people. So we don't know what's actually going on. That's where the conspiracies are going to start with it, is all this redacted bullshit.
Right. But that's why I don't think that they necessarily should have been released anyway, because I feel like Damien said earlier, like, I feel like he was fucked if he did and he fucked if he didn't. Because
Yeah.
it's, oh, well, what are you hiding? And now that it's all redacted anyway, not that it's all redacted, but majority of it's redacted anyway, well, what are you hiding?
Yeah, and it could go that way, right? Like we said, he's fucked if he did it, he's fucked if he didn't. So now that he's done it, but I don't think Trump has anything to do with what gets redacted and what doesn't fucking get redacted.
No.
That's the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice says, hey, we need to redact this.
Right.
This is sensitive information, we need to redact it. Or, hey, this is a very inappropriate, sensitive photo, we're going to redact it.
Right.
Now, yes, everybody can go with the conspiracy theories. Oh, they all work for Trump, so obviously they're going to redact Trump stuff. Bro, yes, okay, we all know that the government is fucking corrupted, okay? Politicians are corrupted. The DOJ is fucking corrupted. FBI is corrupt. I mean, Hoover, for crying out loud, came up with the fucking FBI. It's named after him. The building is named after him. That dude was corrupt as they fucking come. So everything
you guys can
government.
keep talking. I'm just going to show everybody while you guys are talking about this how fucking boring this was.
Oh God.
A clock.
Yeah. Like what does that accomplish?
I'll just do some random ones.
That's some ghetto ass leopard printed chairs.
Oh, what data set are you in? Are you in the first one?
Yeah.
Second, 51.
Second. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Go to the next data set. No. Go to the top. Right there where it says next data set, go to that one.
That's why I know you're in one, because if you scroll all the way to the top,
Yep.
there you
go. Go to the next one.
Next data set?
Yep. Okay, now pick a random file.
Redacted. Item was not scanned. Adult soap, wait, go up.
Soap on a rope. Oh, he had a prison.
What does that accomplish? Okay, so he had soap for like
we know what that is. Come on now.
Yep.
That's not illegal. That's not illegal. A redacted image.
Oh, where's Bill? Do you know what one Bill was in?
Oh, fuck no. I wish I had remembered.
These are some really awful photos, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So what's the square? And then in
clearly
the next
there was a photo there.
Well, so if you look at the bottom right of that one, right, they had a square around that photo. So maybe they thought that photo belonged on the wall. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, pictures of a dog.
Ooh, puppy.
Right, like I said, he's on the fucking phone. Okay, cool. There's a girl bringing him food. Her image is redacted. That's not illegal. Is it maybe promiscuous and it leaves you open for thought? Yeah, sure. But
cool. Photos of us in the sky. That's
it's
super
not illegal.
productive.
Let's see if I can zoom in on.
What is happening?
I don't know.
Is he being arrested? That's him being arrested.
Yeah, I think that's him being arrested. So the cops' photos are redacted. Their faces.
Yeah. Oh, they're in the files. The cops are in the Epstein files.
Yep, he's on a hospital bed. Someone's on a hospital. I don't think it's Epstein because it's redacted, but.
Oh, that's a girl. That's a
female.
Probably an overdose.
Yeah, who knows? But
yeah, like it just doesn't. Like, what are we accomplishing with this?
I want to
all
say
black. I want to say.
I want to say Bill's photos are on the second data set. I want to say. I just couldn't tell you which fucking one. But there's they're on vacation. Who knows fucking where? But they're on vacation. Oh yeah, it's in this data set because this looks familiar. I just don't know which one. There he is. There you go. Okay, so don't skip any. Go directly to the next one and keep going.
On 78.
Yeah.
So I was on 78, 79.
Or maybe it was up. I don't know.
80.
Yeah, go up. Go up.
Okay, so 78 to 77.
Okay, there he is again. Right, but I don't know where this is. I don't know if this is his mansion on the island.
Yeah, this could
I
be
don't know what it was.
anywhere.
This could be anywhere. Like,
76.
he could be at the Taj Mahal for all I fucking know. Like, I don't know where the fuck this shit's at. There he is again.
75.
Yeah, keep going up. Yeah, so like, there's nothing illegal here. Like, there's nothing.
You just clicked on that one. There you
It's
go.
hard to keep track. Like, okay, somebody's eating.
Yeah, there's nothing, like, these are like everyday photos that like people would fucking take. Like,
Yeah, these are just hanging out photos.
yeah, like they're just chilling.
I mean, we know he's a creep. Oh, there we go.
There you go. There you go. He's in a jacuzzi with a redacted photoed woman.
And there's another one behind him because those are feet, somebody's feet.
Those are female feet too.
Yeah,
Or really feminine male, one of the two.
he's technically not doing anything illegal, but there he is. Yeah, there he is again. That's him in the pool.
There's him
There's
and Maxwell.
Giselle, and then
and that-
there's a redacted female.
Yep.
Go to the next one up. So you're at 69. Go to 68. There you go. That's the one I was referring to. That's Bill Clinton. That's
Like
a
they're
redacted
all
female.
clothed. They're all
In a pool.
they're just swimming. There's
Yeah.
nothing illegal about this.
And no offense.
that doesn't look like a teenager.
Okay, females. This doesn't look like a 16-year-old to me.
No.
I mean, it's hard to tell. Obviously, this is
I mean,
a
it
really
could be.
bad photo.
It could be, right?
It
We have
could
no
be,
idea.
But I mean, unless it's a really big-breasted 16-year-old, but I mean, which is possible. But she, just by the skin, she doesn't seem like she's. It could be fucking Hillary for all we know.
Oh Jesus Christ! I hope not.
I hope not either.
I doubt she would be redacted, but
I'd gouge my fucking eyes out.
Right. Playing the piano.
Not illegal.
But you know, it's funny, just stumbling through photos, I find it really funny that I found Bill Clinton before I found Donald Trump. Just saying.
Yeah, I can't find Donald Trump's picture anywhere.
Go
in
up to
here.
the very top one.
The 59.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
there's
maybe
nothing.
that's the island. I don't know. Maybe. It looks like it could be. I
Yeah,
don't fucking know.
but neither one of us know.
Oh, a bunch of redacted females, apparently.
But they're all
But-
clothed.
But where could he? I mean, he could be. I mean, that looks like it probably is the island, right? Like it's
Yeah.
looks like you're
But
surrounded
it like
by
looks
water.
like kind of Hawaii too, because the little thing in the middle of the girls looks like one of the
Like
lays
that could,
that
he
they
could be at
use.
Hawaii, and maybe the performers were underage. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
it
none of
just-
this does
yeah.
anything but cause more questions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, the Navy sponsored him.
Oh, he's got a
That's
pair on
it.
where it says Army too.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen one where his feet are up and it says Army.
Okay, so we're gonna stop that.
But yeah,
So-
like I find it funny though. I found Bill Clinton before I found Donald Trump. Just saying.
Yeah, these were not. Like I said in the beginning, everybody was looking for the photo of Donald Trump bending over a 12-year-old in a room that said Epstein Island.
Which
Eh.
I'm sorry, but like look at his wife. Does he really like Melania's gorgeous.
Millionaire. That I've already told my theory on this, and I don't want to tell it in public. But
You know, it's funny though too. If you go to their contact list, right, where the photos are redacted but the names are not, you don't see. I'm assuming Donald is his real name, right?
yeah,
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
Yeah.
You don't see Donald Trump's name on that list. You know who you do see? Ivanka Trump. You see, I think it's Ronnie or Ronald Trump. And there's one that starts with a B, Trump. And then so you see
Barron?
no, not Barron. It's
Fucking
not Barron.
Barron was getting down.
Not Barron.
But Barron was 17 too, so it didn't
But
matter.
it's like it's a B, but it's not Barron. And then you see Ivania Trump.
yeah.
Melania?
No,
Melania.
no,
Iva- no. I know who-
Ivania, Ivana Trump.
Mm.
I never saw Donald.
No. He.
Just saying.
I mean, everybody points out the fact that they were best friends. But there was a point that they were friends, and then all of a sudden Trump cut him the fuck off, kicked him out of everything Trump name, Trump Tower, the Mar-a-Lago. He said, no, Epstein is not allowed here anymore. End of discussion. It would be the equivalent if one of us had a friend and you found out they were diddling a little kid, you would cut them off. Like, you are not allowed over my house. You're not allowed to text me. You're not allowed to phone call me, nothing. And then you'd go straight to the cops and be like, hey, I'll still be his friend and I'll wear a wire and tell you everything he's doing.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know?
we're gonna have a mess to clean up. Nanook found the box.
Okay, so it's Blaine and Robert Trump, Ivania Trump, Ivanka Trump, Robert and Blaine Trump again. And then it goes on to Turner, Tucker, Turlington, Turnbull. I don't see a Donald.
So weird.
It's page 54 out of 95. I don't see Donald Trump. And that's the contact list. I didn't look for the Clintons, though, either. So.
Oh, Ivania was Trump's first wife.
Yeah, okay, there you go. But yeah. So, no.
A big nothing burger.
Yep.
No.
On that note, yep, that was
A nothing sandwich.
yep, and it's going to continue to be a nothing sandwich. We will show you anything you guys want to see. We will pull it up and we will plaster it all over YouTube, and you're going to find out the people that don't like Trump will see what they need to see, and the people that voted for Trump will see what they need to see.
Yeah.
Everybody has already got their opinion. You're not going to, if Trump is showing on here that he was an informant, he's the one that put Epstein away, he's the good guy in all this, you're not going to change one lefty's opinion.
No.
Not one lefty is going to be like, I guess I was wrong about him this whole time.
No, it's
They're
like
never-
that it's like that fucking Brian Shapiro guy when they asked him about Bandingo or Dandingo, whatever the fuck his name is. The
Bongino.
Bongino, yeah. And they asked
Yeah.
him, they said, well, you said he was getting paid previously and that's why he was coming up with all these conspiracies. But then you said that because now he works for the CIA or whatever it is, he has to be truthful because now he works for the CIA. So when he came out and he said this, do you believe him? And he's like, well, I don't really know. And he's like, well, you just said that he has to tell the truth now and he was lying before. So is he telling the truth about this? Well, I don't really know. I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, they backpedal. It was
Bro,
like,
yes or no? Like, yes or no? Yes, you believe the statement you said that he works for the CIA, so now he has to be honest? And
Yeah.
so anything he says now is truthful, or no, the fuck you don't believe that?
yeah. Well, what did TikTok and YouTube look like after Charlie was shot? What did all the leftists do?
Oh, God.
It was nothing but the most vile, gross TikToks and YouTube videos you would have ever seen. They attacked him. They attacked his wife. There was that one girl that was doing that in the crowds.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner was just murdered
By his son.
by his son, but he was an extreme leftist. Like he was.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this, and Trump didn't have anything nice to say,
Well,
which was so bad on him.
No, Trump. No. Trump didn't. Trump said, he feels bad, but he was like, he didn't fucking like me.
Yeah.
And he had TDS. He had Trump derangement syndrome. He didn't like me. We weren't friends. There was nothing about him I liked. I'm sorry that it happened to him, but he didn't speak highly of him. He sure as shit didn't go, I'm glad he was dead, like all the lefties did for Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Not to mention, no conservative. There might be one or two, but nobody got on there and started saying, well, I'm glad Rob Reiner's dead. He got what he does. That was a big one for Charlie Kirk. He got what he deserved. Nobody in the conservative world. We all got on there and was like, hey, we may have not liked him, but we loved his movies.
Oh, yeah, he had some good movies.
Stand By Me. Yeah, he had great movies. And we appreciate him for that. And we're sorry that this happened to him.
I don't think anybody should die, right?
No.
Like if we
Epstein.
found
Epstein,
yes.
He kind of got what he deserved.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But that's a severe case though, okay? But like if we were to get a national announcement on our phones right now saying that Joe Biden had been murdered, I wouldn't be like, fuck that guy. I'm glad he's fucking dead because he ruined our fucking country. Like, I'd be like, damn, that sucks, but we're not going to miss you. Sorry.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything that benefited for our country or any state that you were in charge of for fucking 50 years of government. You have nothing to show for.
We're sure as shit ain't going to go after his wife. Like all the lefties did with Erica.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
We're done. My butt's numb.
Is that the standard that we're going by when your ass goes numb?
Yeah.
Because she's not. Hannah and me are the nice.
Yeah, you guys get to be in comfy chairs, and I'm in this piece of shit chair. Like,
girl, get you a nice go to Walmart and get you a nice fucking computer chair.
We got to.
They're not crazy expensive.
I actually have a plan for her room that I want to do after my son leaves in the summertime. But anyways, thank you everybody. We're on Spotify, we're on iHeart, we're on
YouTube,
TikTok, we're on YouTube.
Share, follow, tell your friends, tell your family.
Yep.
All right.
Tell your moms, tell your sisters.
Tell everybody.
Tell everybody. All right. Thanks. Love you guys.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Yep.